Good morning and welcome to worship with the Unitarian Universalist Community of Charlotte. I'm Eve Stevens, my pronouns are she, her, and I am one of the ministers of this congregation. Whatever lies ahead for you today, I'm so glad you're taking this time to slow down so we can remember together what matters most. May this service nourish you the rest of your day. We'll start with a poem. In this poem, Offspring by Naomi Long Madgett, a parent wonders at the way children become their own. Though the parent wishes in so many ways to keep her child, shape her child, though the parent begins by imagining her child is one of the parent's own branches, the parent eventually surrenders to the beauty of a young heart, finding her footing and a confidence and joy all her own. Offspring by Naomi Long Madgett. I tried to tell her, this way the twig is bent, born of my trunk, strengthened by my roots. You must stretch, I tell her, new-grown branches closer to the sun than I can reach. I wanted to say, extend myself to that far atmosphere only my dreams allow. But the twig broke, and yesterday I saw her walking down an unfamiliar street. Feet confident, face slanted upward toward a threatening sky. And she was smiling. And she was her very free, her very individual, unpliable own. Each of us has experienced this in our own way, growing toward adulthood, becoming more and more aware of the voice that is our own, our choices that are our own, this life that is our own. This summer, we are celebrating the commitments, values, relationships, experience, choices that make each of us who we are. What roots you? We are asking each other. To what is your life committed? Today, we will hear from two of our members as they explore their life's commitments and joys, sharing with us what anchors them and what connects them to that deep groundwater, that source of life that connects us all. Special thanks to Nathan Hackenberg and Carrie Ann Wolf, our reflectors this morning. Two people who in their own ways find this community to be a vital part of what grounds them. Nathan, who grew up in our congregation and attends now as an adult, nurturing our community with his presence in the midst of young adult commitments to growth, adventure, and change. And Carrie Ann, who connected with us a few years ago, whose work and life sometimes take her far away from Charlotte, and yet somehow from a distance or from within. In the midst of her own adventures, Carrie Ann continues to nurture our community with her presence. We'll also spend time with our director of music, John Herrick, our accompanist, Jessica Bornez, and our own Baker Moore family, treating us to an array of musical offerings this morning. Those of you watching this service on the morning of August 8th, head over to our public Facebook page where you can greet one another in real time in the comments under today's welcome post. Welcome and enjoy.
We light this chalice as a symbol, the light in each of us that sees and wants to connect to the light in one another. The bright, hot sunlight of this summer is made possible by the cultivation of our inner fuel. May the light sustain your energy, and may you refuel as often as you feel your light begin to flicker. Be gentle and rest your precious flame. Namaste.
Spirit of life, of justice, roots hold me close, wings set me free, Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
Good morning. I am Carrie Ann Wolf, and I'm coming to you today from Ohio. I am a member of the community and have been since the fall of 2018. I currently reside in Ohio and maintain my membership there in Charlotte as well. So I've been asked to share my thoughts about roots holding me close. And as you might imagine, many of the things that root and ground me, I would imagine, are similar to the things that root and ground you. I've learned over time that we are more alike than we are different. So I can assume things like friendships, family, and the like. So for me, those things are also true. Friendships root me, community connections root me, family roots me. I have a family of origin that includes myself plus 8 siblings and many nieces and nephews, which takes us into 60 plus members of my family of origin. I am not married and I don't have children, but I have many, many connections to those members of my family. Specifically, my sister Erica and her family that lives there in Charlotte, whom I lived with for a few years while I was there. And it seems that no matter where we are in our lives, professionally or personally, her and I, we always seem to maintain our connection across all these decades. She's 2 years younger than I am, and many people ask often if we are twins. We've done as many things together, and even silly things like buying each other the same exact Christmas present on the same exact Christmas. So she is definitely somebody in my life that roots me, and we hold each other very close. So beyond the people in my life, I do find stability, groundedness, rootedness, and rituals, things like eating healthy, things like sleeping an appropriate number of hours so that I can be good to myself and others, and exercising. I'm also a yoga instructor, and I've often heard it said that if I don't do yoga for a day, I'll notice. If I don't do yoga for 2 days, the people around me notice. And if I don't do yoga for 3 days, the world notices. So keeping those rituals in my life are very important for me, and they keep me grounded, and they are the things that keep me rooted to the elements. So in addition to being a yoga instructor, I am also an Ayurvedic practitioner, which means that I've studied Ayurvedic medicine coming from the country of India. It's a sister science to yoga, and it focuses on the 5 elements: air, ether, fire, earth, and water. So when I studied Ayurveda, some things became very clear to me. Some rituals that I already had in my life that were rooting me and holding me close, I more clearly understood. Things like the need to be outdoors, the need to be in natural bodies of water. Water is grounding, and being outdoors with the earth around trees and mountains are grounding things. And so I make those kinds of things as much a part of my daily rituals as I can. Living in North Carolina, it was a lot easier to access the mountains and the ocean, which is one of the reasons that I moved there for a few years. However, here in Ohio, we have lovely fields and farms, and I can walk or cycle for many, many miles and be outdoors and have that grounded, connected feeling. The city that I grew up in, East Liverpool, Ohio, is about 3 hours east of Columbus, which is the capital where I live currently. And my parents are still there. They're still living in the house that I grew up in they've been there for over 60 years. And so when I return to my hometown, and it will always be my hometown for sure, I have the opportunity to go back to my childhood home, and I still have some childhood friends there that I get to see when I visit. And I'm glad that that town is still there. It's not economically very viable anymore, but the school I attended growing up, the church that I attended, the hospital that I unfortunately spent a lot of my childhood in is still standing, and I can walk to many of those things that I mentioned, and I have. And so the opportunity to visit my hometown, the opportunity to visit those places, those buildings, and to see the people that are connected to those buildings it also makes me feel very grounded. There's a state park in my hometown, Beaver Creek State Park, that I visit most of the time that I am there. I spent a lot of time there as a child, and I continue to return because, again, it includes those elements that I didn't understand at the time, but now are more clear to me. The ability to be in the creek, to walk along and hike along the creek, and to appreciate the trees and the fresh air are all really grounding to me. And I've had the opportunity to take many friends there when they visit my hometown with me. And my sister Erica and I have the opportunity probably once a year or so to be in the town together and to do the hike in that park. Some things that I'm committed to, which root me and hold me close, are commitments to health in every shape and form. Physical health, mental health, spiritual health, social and emotional health. And a number of years ago, I read a book, The Road Less Traveled by Scott Peck. And it begins by saying life is difficult. But then it goes on very quickly to say, once you understand that life is difficult, it ceases to become so. He also talks a lot about adherence to the truth at all costs. And I have a commitment to the truth. We all have blinders in our lives, and I know that I have some currently because that's just the nature of being human. And I continue to work towards removing those blinders and being committed to health in every form. I will say the last thing that really roots me and holds me close are the different groups or communities that I belong to over time. When I'm not part of a community, I have discovered that I do feel very ungrounded and not rooted. And so I tend to seek out connections through community. I've been part of self-help groups and different courses that I've taken over the years in graduate school and my yoga studies, etc. And allowing those groups to root me and or something that has helped hold me close. So I hope that some of what I've said is either useful to you or resonates with you, and maybe allows you also to consider things that root you and hold you close, and things that you are currently committed to or will like to be committed to in the future. So thank you for listening and letting me share this morning. And I hope that you have a rooted day and that you feel grounded in every way that you can. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Nathan Hackenberg. I grew up in this church and I've been attending for longer than I can remember, and now I'm getting to experience congregational life as an adult. I've sung in the choir on and off over the years, as well as participated in our handbell ensemble and our youth religious education program. I'm looking forward to starting my time on the children and youth religious education team later this month. I want to welcome our guests this morning. I encourage you to check on our website where you can subscribe to our weekly e-newsletter Currents for the latest ways to connect with our community. If you would like to learn a little bit more about us or are interested in becoming a member, contact our membership coordinator, Kelly Green. Her email is Kelly, Kelly, at uucharlotte.org. Kelly can also put you in touch with one of our ministers for a conversation. Welcome, and I hope you join us again next week. As I said during my welcome, I have been singing with our church choir since I was in high school. Music has always been one of the largest parts of my life. I have always really enjoyed listening to music, and I'm both a singer and a musician. I've played some different instruments, and I sang in choirs in middle school and high school, as well as some voice training and singing with our church choir. But to me, neither the experience of hearing music or even creating music can compare to the experience of sharing music with others. Bonus points if it's done with a group of like-minded people like we have here in our church community. I say the more the merrier. To me, the messages, lessons, and community that music can provide are an amazing experience that everyone can enjoy and relate to in some way. In the idea of sharing music, one way that I've always tried to live my life is to be enriching not only to my own experience, but also to the lives of those close to me and to the world at large. I've always tried to give back, and I really enjoy singing and participating in our services in other ways. I also did a fair amount of community service and work with Habitat of Humanity for Humanity with the RE program at this church. This is an occupation and a commitment that I have tried to continue as an adult. Construction is one of the things that I really enjoy and that led me actually into graduating with a technical theater degree this summer. Hopefully, as soon as I can, be able to start my career sharing that beautiful art with the world. Thanks to the watchful, knowledgeable eye of my parents and in part our 13 principles, Thanks to the watchful, knowledgeable eye of my parents, and in part to our 13 principles, I was taught to always treat people with respect and love. I was raised to never fear new opportunities and to never refuse a chance to help people. In 2016, in kind of a gap year before I started college, I volunteered with the National Civilian Community Corps, a government-run community service program who sends teams of volunteers from all over the country to work with nonprofits to provide assistance to communities in need. I ended up doing maintenance work on 3 summer camps and work with United Way for a low-income neighborhood in Michigan, helping them connect with their local government to get the support and the assistance that they needed. This was my first time really seeing what the outside world was like outside of my home. My first real chance to meet people from a totally different background, and probably the most positive change that I have been able to make so far. This experience really helped shape who I am as an adult and how I try to present myself. This had such a huge impact on my life. The idea that it takes a whole village does not just apply to raising children, but I believe to our communities as a whole. There are many ways to give back, and I believe that enriching the lives of others in any small way is the best for both you and your communities to benefit from your existence, in this world. I think that community is one of the most important roots of life and the one that is able to grow the biggest and the most beautiful of all of them. I would like to thank this community for giving me such a caring, enriching, and inspiring environment, and for nurturing me and helping me to become the person that I am today. Let's all hug our loved ones and make sure to thank the people closest to us and continue to find ways to enrich those around us and grow our communities to be as full and as splendorous as they can. Thank you and have a blessed day.
When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we trust the wisdom in each of us, every color, every creed, every kind, and we see our faces in each other's eyes, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we tell our story from the deep inside, and we listen with a loving mind, and we hear our voices in each other's words, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we share the silence of sacred space, and the God of our heart stirs within, and we feel the power of each other's faith, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place.
Here is a poem by one of the pioneers of Instagram poetry, Rupi Kaur. She writes, "It was when I stopped searching for home within others and lifted the foundations of home within myself. I found there were no roots more intimate than those between a mind and body that have decided to be whole." According to my weather app, today should have a low of 66 and a high of 90. And after this service, I am hoping you will join us in the warm, sweet spot of this day at 11 a.m. on our grounds at 234 North Sharon Amity. We'll join together in Summer Sing, and then you can stay and play just for a little bit. We have a short social get-to-know-you game that will follow. Next Sunday, August 15th, there are two fun offerings for you to choose between. The first, following Summer Sing at noon next Sunday, you can attend Rooted in the Summer's Bounty and exchange favorite recipes and share in some of the foods of the season. Or at noon next Sunday, you can meet others for a quick lunch, followed by a tour to learn more about some of Charlotte's oldest and grandest trees. Please see Currents for how to sign up, and there's a limited number of attendees allowed in each, so if you find one is full, you can just sign up for the other one. Whatever grief, whatever anxiety you carry with you today, whatever challenge you are facing, whatever celebration is unfolding in your life, this community holds you with love and in our prayers. And to each of you, thank you for sustaining this spiritual community through your gifts of presence and generosity. And if you can contribute financially today, either through one of our electronic giving portals or through good old snail mail, please do. And again, thank you. As our time together draws to a close, I invite you into a time of meditation. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and take in the silence. I offer you these words by Unitarian Universalist minister Teresa I. Soto from her meditation, A Rock in Our Pocket. When we are kids, it seems like a profession, talking to rocks and listening for their beauty, for the song that says that they belong together. We'd pick up the shiny one, the round one, the flat one, the pretty one. We'd store them in boxes, in bags, in pockets. But what we missed, unless we pay attention now to this, there is always the possibility that we can treasure what is in our pockets rather than the thing we have yet to attain. There is the knowledge of the earth beneath all of us that a plain and sparkly rock can give. It is the hurtling round rock on which we race around the universe. There is the sense of beauty all around, but also choosing to experience it, to seize it and savor it. You could do worse than a practical, ongoing yes. This community will not begrudge you any reminder of your individual, our shared strength. Carry it with you everywhere. Be ready to share it. You know where you can get more. Amen. Be well and reach out when you need us.